State lawmakers continue to question the state's voter registration system after it was discovered Ian Roberts, the former Iowa school superintendent and Baltimore principal, was registered to vote in Maryland despite being in the country illegally.
Now an election watchdog tells Fox 45 News the state's procedures need to be reviewed.
Fox 45's Jessica Babb is in studio after digging into the data with what she's found. Jessica.
Well, we did the math, and the data shows that about 90% of the state's voting population, that means 18 and up, is registered to vote. And while election officials say they don't want to disenfranchise voters, others say it's a high number that needs to be reviewed.
That story about Ian Roberts broke as we were in fact having a meeting with the State Board of Elections.
The story of Ian Roberts starting a whirlwind.
As they were saying the state of their rolls were wonderful, the story of Ian Roberts broke. That there is in fact a non-citizen on the roll, something they have said over and over again does not happen.
Roberts, a former superintendent in Iowa and former Baltimore City Schools principal, is accused of overstaying a visa and in the country illegally. But despite that, records suggest he may have been registered to vote in Maryland, considering that immigration officials say he's not a citizen and hasn't lived in Maryland for years. State Republicans are calling for an investigation.
We've had lots of communication with the MVA. We believe that it is likely where his registration occurred. Maryland has a motor voter law that allows folks when they go to get a driver's license to register to vote. Well, Maryland's one of the few states in the country that allows illegal immigrants to also get a driver's license.
Kate Sullivan with Secure the Vote, an election watchdog group, says,
I would love to see the State Board of Elections really take an honest look at their processes. That to us is more important than answering the one question about Ian Roberts. We know that problems will happen, mistakes will happen. We're just more interested in the process that led to that mistake.
In this letter from the Department of Justice, dated back in July, they say a recent review shows in 2024 there was a registration rate of about 95% of the citizen voting age population. They say the ratio of registered voters to voting age population has been, quote, unusually high for several years. And while state election officials said they were previously reviewing that
feels like a very implausible number against the national average, which is 75%.
So digging into the data ourselves, using 2020 census data, getting the number of people in each county 18 and older, adding up the figures, there's about 4.8 million people who were old enough to vote. Then, using the latest data from the State Board of Elections September report, there's about 4.3 million active registered voters. Doing the math, that suggests about 90% of the voting age population is registered to vote, a number that could be slightly larger or smaller depending on many factors, like 16-year-olds who can register to vote but can't vote, inactive voters, people who may have moved since the census, or even people who participated in the census but aren't eligible to vote.
I think that is a terribly high number. We have always said that it is never about the specific number. We understand that voter rolls fluctuate daily. The State Board of Election does do maintenance processes. We know that. We just feel that they could be doing a better job if they looked to other people to sort of give them input, because what they're doing right now is clearly not working.
Well, the State Board of Elections says they won't remove a voter from the rolls unless that person requests it or they get info from certain verifiable sources like election reporting systems and officials. They say Maryland's process errs on the side of removing any doubt in the cancellation before potentially disenfranchising a voter. And while online, they say they do get info daily from other states and say they do regular checks.
How they're doing it leaves a lot to be desired.
And while the State Board of Elections has yet to answer any of our questions or respond to state lawmakers about what corrective actions might be put in place moving forward, Republican Matt Morgan says,
the State Board of Elections does fall under the Moore administration, so ultimately this is, requires governor oversight.
And it is important to reiterate that election officials say that there is no indication Ian Roberts ever voted in the state of Maryland. But I did reach out to the governor's office today asking for his response if he thinks there should be more of an investigation, if the State Board of Elections will comply with the DOJ request, and if he thinks additional measures need to be put in place moving forward. So far, his office hasn't responded. In the studio, Jessica Babb, Fox 45 News.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.